What is going on, everybody? Happy divisional round of the NFL playoffs to you guys. Cannot wait for this weekend to kick off, for it to be Sunday night football. We're waiting all day for Sunday night. It's only Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. We got an awesome show planned out for you. Ton of great Ravens content we're going to get into. First up, we're going to talk Cheetah to the Ravens. Okay, I know it sounds crazy to be talking about offseason trades when we're in the middle of a playoff run. However, it's Tyreek Hill. Bleacher Report talked about it. We're going to talk about it as well. After that, we got a Ravens versus Bills preview, how the Baltimore Ravens can take down the Buffalo Bills. Coming up third, the scary truth about the Baltimore Ravens this year. And then last, but of course not least, everybody's favorite segment, our live Ravens mailbag. You guys ask me questions. I answer them live on air. It's the best part of everybody's week. Speaking about the best part of everybody's week, I want to give a shout out to these two guys, Marco Carrington, Ben Shreve. They super chatted, each of them, on Saturday night's live show watch party of the Pittsburgh Steelers game. They each got to spin the wheel. They both landed on shout outs on Tuesday's live show. So shout out to them, supporting the channel, being a real one, always being there. I saw Marco in here already earlier saying how cold it is, also saying Taco Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday to you, Marco. Shout out, Ben, and shout out you as well. Before we get into anything else, I want to get you guys into the comment section. Let me know your confidence level that the Ravens beat the Bills. Scale it for me 1 to 100. If you're saying 100, you're saying without a shred of doubt, I would put $1 million on this game if I had it. And if you're saying 1, you're saying no chance in hell that we ever beat this team and the Buffalo Bills, okay? Let me know where you're sitting. Right now, I would say I'm probably sitting at somewhere around I'm feeling good, but also it's Buffalo. I don't know if you could ever be like above 70%. I'm probably sitting at 65 though. I'm feeling real good about it. Want to hear what you guys are feeling. We got Prince saying 49%. We got Papa Shook saying 87. Ravens for life, he's at 100. Grove St. Turk is at 1. I'm going to do a quick little, I'm guessing 100. I'm guessing 1 billion. That's what Grove's at. He's feeling really good about it. King Crazy's at 100. Marcelo Hernandez is at 7. Not feeling as good. John Schramm's at a 75. Marco Carrington's at an 84%. Fate Gaming's at an 80. Prince is at a 95. Marcelo was just at a 7. Now he's at an 85, feeling a lot better. Ravens Life at 100. Me and Ty Man, we agree. 65, both of us. I see a lot of confidence. See a lot of confidence in Ravens fans, and I think you guys should have every reason to be confident. I think we should have every reason to be confident going into this game. Okay, I know it's the Bills. I know it's Josh Allen, but you already beat them. Coming up later in the show, I'm going to lay out 4 ways that you can guarantee a win this weekend. Before we get into any of those, I got to give a shout out to both of the sponsors on today's stream. First one is Prize Picks. And you know what? Prize Picks has an awesome feature. It's called Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets to your favorite teams live even easier. Game Time Picks filters to the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. So you don't have to waste time searching thousands of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Up next, we've got our friends over at Prize Picks. And you know what? Oh, did I say sorry? My bad. Think Lamar Jackson will get more than 250 yards passing next week? Will Patrick Mahomes pass more than 1.5 touchdowns? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win or see the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. Did I really say the wrong? Well, apologies to Game Time. Thank you, though, to both of our sponsors. The reason this show's free, the reason you guys get to watch it every single day, the reason I get to be here. If you guys want to be here, as in be on the show, you can. You can use hashtag Ravens in the live chat, right? You can look and see exactly how Papa shook, exactly how It's Red Eye did it. Use hashtag Ravens and then ask a question. And I'll answer that question on today's show, okay? That's all you got to do if you want to guarantee, and I mean guarantee your question gets on the show, then you could super chat, okay? If you super chat, you'll get your question on the show. You'll see your name, your face pop up, whatever it is. That's the only way we can guarantee it. Justin Lewis saying, what's up, Joey Patterson? Well, Justin, I appreciate you saying what's up to me. What's up to you? However, my name is not Patterson. It's Petersen. But still, appreciate you. If you guys want a shout out already, and you've liked the stream, type me. You don't get a shout out unless you liked it. So if you did like it, go ahead, type me in the comment section down below. We're at 92 people watching. Look at that. On a beautiful Tuesday evening, already got 92 people. Absolutely love it. Keep getting in that like button. Keep clicking that thumbs up. Got some awesome questions. Silky saying, hashtag Ravens. Do you think the Ravens bench Brandon Stevens? We will be good. Silky, that's a great question. We got Sam Himes here. Hey, Sam. What's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy. It's Red Eye, John Schramm, Michael, Sam. Funny thing about the pot that you sent to Kennedy and I, not like pot weed for all the people that are listening, an actual like pot that my wife and I got for our wedding registry. We left it in Starkville. Sam lives in my old place. He sent it to me. Anyway, Sam, it's from someone that like we don't even know. We don't even know, like, we have no clue who this girl is. But we got a cooking pot from it. So thanks to her. We got Michael, Ravens Flock, Ravens King, Justin Lewis. We got Hi. That's an interesting name. Do you see that? How does one do that? I thought it was something on the monitor for a second, but it's moving. So that's impossible. 93 people watching, 31 likes. Let's try to get to 40. Grove St. Turk saying, hashtag Raven. Hey, Grove, great question. Has to be Ravens with an S. Okay, hashtag Ravens. Okay, is the Flowers, I'm going to mean Zay Flowers, going to be playing in the game. We'll talk about that if you ask it again, and use hashtag Ravens with an S. King Xavier is here, Marcelo's here, Ravens Flock is here, Ravens for Life is here. We got a ton of great people in the chat, and that's a good thing because we're about to get started. Just a quick reminder, here's what we got coming up. First segment, Cheetah to the Ravens, because the Ravens be trading for our main man, Tyreek Hill. Then we're going to follow that up with the Ravens-Bills preview, everything you need to know about Buffalo, what Baltimore can do to pull off the win. Coming up third, we've got the scary truth about the Baltimore Ravens. You are going to want to hear that one. Then, last but not least, we got an awesome live Ravens mailbag. Appreciate you guys being here. Producer Jack, are you ready? Producer Jack's ready. He's ready. He's got no... Oh, you do know where the mic is. Oh, it's in B. Okay. He's got no mic. You can't hear him. I can hear him, though, and that's all that matters. He's ready. I'm ready. Hope you guys ready. It's coming at you right now. I want to start off today's show just a little bit differently, okay? I want you guys to think hard for me, doing a fun little exercise, and name a random Ravens player in the chat down below, okay? I'm not talking like Lamar, Derrick Henry, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. I'm talking like out of nowhere. None of us have thought about that name since 2010. The weirder you can get, the better. Hit me up in the comment section down below. On today's show, we're talking a little bit about a trade for the Cheetah. Tyreek Hill was brought up in a trade, I guess, rumor article from Bleacher Report, and they think that Baltimore could target Tyreek Hill in the offseason of 2025. Here's what Maurice Moton had to say. He said, in recent years, the Ravens have been aggressive on the trade market. If the Ravens fall short of a Super Bowl appearance, knock on wood that doesn't happen, they could be a strong suitor for a wide receiver on the trade market. Wide receivers Flowers and Bateman posted career-high receiving numbers in multiple categories, but they aren't on the same tier as Hill in playmaking ability. And Maurice, you're not wrong there, right? I love Zay Flowers. I love what Rashad Bateman has been able to do so far this season in his in his third year. But guys, any of us would be silly to say they're on any kind of the same level as Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill will go down in history as a generational talent. He might not go down in history as a generational pass catcher, but what he's able to do with his speed after the catch, it's never been done before in the history of this game. He's the fastest player it seems that's ever played. He's the most electric player that seems he's ever played. And if you could pair him up with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the year of 2025, that would be absolutely unreal. And I get it, right? I know we're in the middle of a playoff run. We're talking trade rumors, but guys, it's the Cheetah, right? This isn't just some run-of-the-mill player. This isn't just some guy who nobody's ever heard about. If Baltimore is truly interested in trading for Tyreek Hill, we're going to talk about it on the channel, okay? I'm talking about it. I want to hear what you guys think about it, though. Make the call for me. Should the Ravens trade for Tyreek Hill? If you think they should, type Y for yes. If you think they shouldn't, type in for no. Let me know. Comment section down below. Go hit it up. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Go comment. So the question is, where is this coming from, Joey? Did Bleacher Report, did Maurice just pull Tyreek's name out of nowhere? Out of a hat? Just out of thin air? Is this all just made up? No, it's not. Great questions. Thank you for asking them. But Tyreek Hill, after the last game of the season, kind of hinted and literally said that he wanted out. He said, I'm opening the door. I'm out, bro. It was great playing here, but at the end of the day, I got to do what's best for my career. I'm too much of a competitor to just be out there, okay? And then he tweeted this: love Finn Nation, blessing y'all, open doors for the Hill family forever. Nothing but respect and love. Now, I don't know how that feels to you guys, but to me, that kind of feels like he's saying goodbye. It kind of feels like Tyreek Hill is here opening the door for an exit. Or rather, he's here trying to open the door for another team. But the thing about this is it's kind of gone up and down and all around, right? His agent's saying one thing, he's saying another thing. Nobody really knows what's going on. Let's hear from his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. He said he's committed to this Dolphins football team. He had an excellent meeting with Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel. He's the least guy people should be worried about for this organization, right? So when you hear that, initial thought is, okay, sounds like he isn't going anywhere, right? Sounds like maybe it was just a heat of the moment kind of thing. Sounds like maybe he was just frustrated, which they basically were out of the playoffs after that last game because things didn't go the way they needed them to, with other people losing and yada. You know the story. But it sounds like he's fine. But then Drew Rosenhaus says this: I've got to have that conversation with Tyreek on him wanting to be in Miami. I'm not going to speak for him. I'm not going to say he does or he doesn't. Now that, on the other side of the coin, it kind of sounds like he's gone. So you find yourself sitting here and questioning, which is it? Is he staying or is he leaving? Well, if he's leaving, Baltimore might be the destination, okay? I want you to take a guess, though. What is the % chance that Hill is a Dolphin in 2025? Let me know, comment section down below. Scale it 1 to 100. 100 meaning you're confident, no chance he's not. 1 meaning he's gone, probably tomorrow, okay? Let me know in the comment section down below. Coming up, we got a little bit of talk about what the trade with Baltimore might actually look like, okay? What they'd give up, what they get in return, and what Tyreek Hill would look like in this offense. But before I get into that, I got to talk about our friends, our sponsor on today's video, and that is Game Time. Game Time is the sponsor of today's show, and the new year brings a lot of great things. Friends, food, celebration, but most importantly, the playoffs. There's nothing that can quite compare to the rush and excitement you feel watching your team win a playoff game, either at home or on the road. And if you want to have that memory for the rest of your life, that's where Game Time can help out. Game Time has an awesome new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff, show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which are the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. There's so many things that I love about Game Time, and I'm going to talk real quick about the views from your seats, okay? I can't tell you how many sporting events I've gone to, and there's a high railing in the way, or there's an extended press box, there's a random pole, and I'm kind of sitting there thinking, okay, I wouldn't have spent all this money on a ticket if I would have just been looking at nothing, right? That's the great thing about Game Time. You can see exactly what you'll be seeing from your seat before you even buy the ticket. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. So here's a little bit about what the trade would look like. This is how the trade was proposed from our friends over at Bleacher Report. So the Ravens would receive Tyreek Hill, and the Dolphins would receive the 2025 second-round pick, okay? Now, that's insinuating that they would do it in the next couple of months or so, and I don't think that's going to happen. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a little bit. But on first glance, guys, a second-round pick for Tyreek Hill, would you not do that in a heartbeat? Am I crazy for saying that I would do that in a heartbeat? Okay, and I get it. Tyreek Hill has ruffled some feathers in the past couple of months. Okay, I get it. He doesn't have the best track record of off-the-field issues. Okay, I get it. There just was a video that was surfaced of him talking about not wanting to go into a game, right? The final game against the Jets. Jalen Waddle said, Cheetah, you out? Okay, I get all those things. But then at the end of the day, in all that same breath, it's still Tyreek freaking Hill. Okay? It's Tyreek Hill. And could you imagine those three guys together? Because I could, and it gives me absolute chills. So let's talk about the money aspect of it, okay? Because right now the Ravens have $12.72 million in cap space. Okay? Now, that sounds like a lot because it's a lot more than they've had in the past. I'm going to talk about more money in just a little bit, but if you want to find something that's money, you found it right here on the Ravens Rundown. And we are in the middle of an AFC North sub-battle for this week, okay? We're in second place. Not bad, but we all know who the kings of the AFC North are. Help us pass our biggest rival. We're only 8 subs behind Steelers Talk. They're at 183. We're at 175. Let's close that gap. Let's pass them. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. So Hill's contract details. Right now, he's a $27.7 million cap hit in 2025 if on the roster. But it's bigger if he's traded before June 1st, $28.3 million. It jumps all the way down for Miami to $12.7 million for the 2025 cap hit if he's traded after June 1st. He's under contract through 2026 with a $51.8 million cap hit. So you saw in that trade earlier, it said a 2025 second-round pick for Tyreek Hill. Now, my thoughts on that situation are they're not going to do that. That would weigh $16 million if they traded him before June 1st, okay? So from a Miami perspective, it might make sense to trade him, but it makes zero sense at all to do it before the 1st of June. But the thing from a Baltimore perspective is, in my opinion, if you trade for Hill, it's probably goodbye to Stanley. Okay, and I get it. You'd have to make an offer on him really before this, but if they're putting their sights on Tyreek Hill in the future, I don't know if they'd have the money to re-sign Stanley. Because if you look at the free agents, Patrick McCarry, Patrick Ricard, Nelson Aguilar, or Darius Washington, I think they only sign maybe 2 of those guys if they go for Hill. Maybe even if they go for Hill, they only sign 1 of those guys. Possibly, probably Darius Washington, even though he's a restricted free agent. But still, I think you got to choose Ronnie Stanley or Tyreek Hill. And when you look at the stats, it kind of makes it hard not to choose Tyreek. Now, I know he didn't have the best season this year, 959 yards. He was under 1,000 for the first time in a very long time. But just look at 2023, 2022, and 2021. 1,200 yards in 2021, then 1,700 or more in both 2022 and 2023. And I said it before already, but could you imagine these 3 guys on the same NFL roster. Would this be like the first true big three in NFL history? Would Tyreek Hill to Baltimore be like the LeBron James, Bosh, and Wade to Miami back in like 2010? Those three on the same roster would be diabolical. Because look at their total yards. Just this year, Lamar, 5,087, 45 total touchdowns, was the number one highest ranked quarterback in PFF. Derrick Henry, 2,100, 18 total touchdowns. Tyreek Hill on a down year still had 1,112 total yards and 6 total touchdowns. And let's talk about that down year, okay? Because it came out recently from Drew Rosenhaus. He revealed that Hill broke his wrist in training camp and could have had season-ending surgery, but he didn't. He played through it. And that says a lot to me. That's not very wide receiver diva-ish, okay? I know the wide receiver diva stereotype fits Hill in a lot of areas. I think toughness, it doesn't. You saw in all those last 4 years, he played either 16 games or 17 games. That's very rare. He's very durable. He's tough. And that probably had to do with him having the first down year in his career in the last, 6 years or so? So my take on this whole thing, right? I would do it, but I don't think Miami will, okay? I don't think they're going to trade him in general, and if they do trade him, I don't think they would trade him to the biggest contender in the AFC to fortify that offense even more than it already is, okay? I got to admit, he looks pretty sweet in that Ravens uniform, but still, I don't know if they would do it, okay? What say you, though? Do the Ravens trade Tyreek Hill? Type T for trade, type T for pass on the whole thing. Let me know down below. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. This has been the Ravens Rundown. I am your guy, Joey Petersen. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to give me that. Hit me up on social media. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, see you then. Alrighty. So what say you guys? Do the Ravens? Actually, Jack, can we pull up would you trade? Can you pull up the yes or no, that first one? That would be helpful. There we go. Would you guys trade for Tyreek Hill? Okay? Let me know yes or no down below. Matt said Hill equals poop emoji. He's on a steep downgrade where his ego holds his ability down. Okay, we know where Matt stands on this. Papa says no. Okay, Jacko says just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't true. To keep Ronnie and add Hill, buy Mark. So Jacko's saying move on from Mark Andrews. Joe wants it to happen. High says maybe. Ravens for Life says yes. Fabian says yes. Carlton says yes. Dante says no. Cam says no. We got a lot of yeses. We got a lot of no's. Say that again? Oh, great. Thank you. Jack is back. He is getting the mic set up. Marcelo says, yes, if we have the cap to re-sign and get Tyreek. No, that'd be great. And I don't think Ronnie Stanley would be that expensive, okay? I talked about it in today's video, actually, earlier this morning with Roger Rosengarten. It wouldn't be that expensive to re-sign him, but also you just got a lot of pieces. And I think I think the whole Ronnie Stanley thing is I think more people want him than, I think people are going to pay him more than he might be deserving at 33 and at that right tackle or left tackle position. But you guys let me know down below. Would you say trade for Tyreek Hill? I'm going to bring on producer Jack. His second straight live show. Get used to seeing him. Oh.
Hello?
No, there you go. I see you.
Oh, here we are. There we are. They gave me a mic.
Uh-oh. They gave him a mic. Who did it? I don't know. I didn't. I put it in B because I didn't want him to talk for the entire time. But he's here. Better than ever. Would you trade for Tyreek Hill, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay. Quick answer. He says, yeah. Joe says, I'm definitely looking forward to the Bills game. Good. You should be. Because we're about to talk about it. So stick around, my man. Stick around, Joe. We're about to get into Bills, Ravens, Sunday Night Football. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time kick. Time Man says, hey, Jack. Make sure you guys are getting in the comment section. Use hashtag Ravens. Ask a question. Also, make sure to be hitting that thumbs up button, okay? 95 people are watching. 53 likes. That's what we got. We're about to go into the next cut. And before I get out of the cut, or when I get out of the cut, I want to see 60 likes, okay? I want to see 60 likes. That's my challenge to you guys. So you guys got questions for me? We're a couple segments away from getting into a live mailbag. You guys ask them. Use hashtag Ravens. I'll answer them in just a little bit. Okay, Jack. I'm all watered up. Are you ready to go with the next segment? Perfect. Let me get script all ready. And, yes, we do. Sorry, I didn't move them up. Alrighty. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Coming at you right now, a little preview of the divisional round, what Baltimore needs to do to take down the Buffalo Bills. What's going on, everybody? We are one day away from the game of the season until we make it to the next round, and then that one's the game of the season. Welcome into the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and on today's show, we'll be breaking down the ways I think the Baltimore Ravens can beat the Buffalo Bills. Right now, as we sit, they sit at a 1.5-point favorite, even on the road in somebody else's building. And mind you, a building that hasn't seen a loss all year long. 1.5 favorites, over-unders at 51.5. A little high. I like it. You'll see that in just a little bit. But before we go any further, I need to know, okay? And you can't jinx us. Do you want the Ravens to destroy the Bills? And I mean destroy the Bills. If so, go ahead, get me a like on this video. Hit that thumbs up button. You know, I can see the number of likes. I can see the number of views. I can pull up the people that like it. And if you don't like it, and you are one of the viewers, banned from the channel. Okay, I hate to do it, but you'll be banned from the channel. You'll be banned from M&T Bank Stadium. You'll be banned from everything, okay? So if you want the Ravens to destroy the Bills, like the video for me. Let's start off with a little bit of an injury report. Ray Davis is in concussion protocol. Alec Anderson is dealing with a calf injury, one of their star offensive linemen. And then Brandon Codrington, he's a return specialist, is dealing with a hamstring injury. None of those guys are like the big marquee star names, which unfortunately brings us to the Baltimore Ravens, okay? Let's give you a little status on Flowers. As of the time filming this video, what we've gotten is the fact that Baltimore is in we'll see mode. That's what John Harbaugh said to the media on Monday. He also stated that there's a chance of him playing without practicing, okay? Obviously, you want him in this game. Obviously, he's an asset. Obviously, he's this team's wide receiver one. But as of right now, in the recording of this video, they're in we'll see mode. The status yet to be. So show me, okay, do you want to wish Flowers back to health? If so, I need you to spam 4 in the comment section down below. I want to see 4 million 4s. Whoever types the most 4s will get a shout out on tomorrow's live show. Okay, I'll be counting them up, and I need you to get there as many times as possible. Let's start with the keys to victory. Joey P's keys to victory. I got to say it as many times as I can, Jack, because I don't know how many more of these previews that we're going to be doing. But we're starting where we usually start, and that's run the ball. And it's going to be critical that you're good at running the football because the weather forecast as of right now, let's just say I hope they got their parkas on, okay? 20 degrees at 12 p.m., 18 degrees at 6 p.m., a chance of snow showers, winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. It's going to be frigid. Thank God I'm going to be in a studio and not on the sideline, okay? And did you know, when it comes to running the football, that Baltimore is averaging 42.7 rushing attempts per game over their last 3 games? That is the most in the NFL in that stretch. Nobody is running the football more. Now, it helps to get that high number when you're coming off a game where you just handed the ball off 50 freaking times. And oh yeah, you ran as a team 299 yards, and you averaged 6 yards per rush. And what I love about this is that Willie Taggart saw this coming from a mile away. In December, he talked about Derrick Henry, and he said Derrick hasn't had a lot of carries, a lot of wear and tear on him this year. So I think it's set up perfectly for him to finish the year like he's capable of and what we expect out of him. Derrick is fresh right now, and that's great. I think the way he trains himself, the way he practices, he's going to be ready to finish the year like we need him to. And guys, he's been finishing the year exactly like this team's needed him to. But the thing is, the year ain't over. So we need to keep going to that well, okay? He's had more than 20 carries from week 7 to week 15 only 2 times. That is a 9-week span. And then the last 4 weeks, he's got more than 20 carries every single one of them. So Willie was right. They were saving him, trying to keep him fresh down this stretch, and it's proved to be very fortuitous. Because when you look at what he's done in these last 4 games, it's been otherworldly, okay? Like we said, 20 carries in each of them, over 130 yards in each of them, 186 against Pittsburgh in the wild card game, 2 touchdowns in each of the last 2 games. And that's what's the same thing that's going to need to happen again, okay? I don't need 186. I don't need 2 touchdowns, but I would like to see them go to him as much as they can because he's been proven through the past 4 weeks that that's how this team wins football games. The good thing about it is he just did to Pittsburgh an absolute number. And when you look at Pittsburgh's defense when it comes to defending the run against Buffalo's, Pittsburgh's better in pretty much every single stat category except touchdowns given up. And so logic tells you they should be able to run the ball against Buffalo. And here's my take on this whole thing, is that this is this team's identity. And this needs to be the focus, okay, from the first snap to the final knee. This was this team's identity last year. They ran the football more than anybody else, but they also didn't have Derrick Henry. They also didn't have the King. They do this year, and he's proving to everybody in Baltimore, in Buffalo, in Studio E, in downtown Dallas, Texas, that he's the guy for the job, okay? Coming up, I've got 3 more keys to victory to give you for Sunday's game against the Buffalo Bills. But before we get into any of that, I got to give a shout-out to the sponsor of today's video, and that's our friends over at Prize Picks. It's playoff time, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need a win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Think Lamar Jackson will get more than 250 passing yards next week? Will Patrick Mahomes pass for more than 1.5 touchdowns? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. And just in a couple of days, we've got the national championship. We're going to crown a national champion. I could not be more excited about it. I got my Prize Picks for that game. Ohio State, Notre Dame. I got the more on Will Howard pass yards. You see that, right? It's just half a pass yard. Take advantage, folks. I got the less on Riley Leonard pass yards. I think he's a glorified Tim Tebow. And then I got the less on Jeremiah Smith receiving yards. I think Notre Dame is going to sell out to stop number 4 from beating him. You can tail my picks. You can fade my picks. Just make sure you use Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need a win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. And you know what, guys? I said this week 4, and I still mean it, but I also just wanted to reuse it because I thought I absolutely cooked with this one, okay? Don't let James cook, okay? James Cook, their RB1, it's obvious that when he has good games, a lot of times that leads to victories for this Buffalo Bills team. Okay, in losses, he averages 42.25 yards. In wins, he's averaging 26 more yards than that, 68.57. Okay, so you can see the correlation. Low yardage when they lose, higher yardage when they win. And did you know, okay, because you hear Josh Allen, you think about that and the quarterback MVP race and all that he can do with his arm. He can throw it a country mile, and you think, okay, they probably just pass this ball over and over and over again. But they actually run the football 5th most in the NFL, 47.9% of the time, and that's up 2% even from last year. And I think a big reason is because they don't necessarily have that guy in the wide receiver room that can absolutely dominate a game. Khalil Shakir, He's a good wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. But is anybody scared of him being a Jamar Chase, a Justin Jefferson, and just totally single-handedly winning a game? I'm not. Keon Coleman, he's a great rookie. He's probably going to be a great player. But can he take over a football game? Same goes to Dalton Kincaid. Okay, you see their stats right there. The highest of all those guys for regular season receiving yards is Khalil Shakir with 821. So in my opinion, you take away James Cook and you make Allen rely on those guys in the wide receiver room that you don't believe and that I don't believe have the ability to just totally dominate and win a team a football game, okay? A little bit of a programming alert for you guys. We will be live tomorrow, Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to do about an hour of pregame coverage. We'll go over a lot of these things we're talking about again. We got a whole ton of fun stuff planned. Want to see you there. Make sure you're there. Hit that subscribe button. Enjoy us tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Third key to victory, you have to limit the turnovers, okay? This was a key to victory last week, and it's going to continue to be a key to victory as long as this team continues to win playoff games, okay? Because when you look at the playoff losses, you can see the reason you lost that game is you turned the football over, okay? Last year against Kansas City, 3 turnovers. 2022 against Cincinnati, 2. Then against Buffalo, 1. And then against Tennessee, 3. Every single one of those, you can point to turnovers being an issue. And you can kind of see that in Lamar's history in the postseason, okay? His interceptions in his 3 wins in the playoffs, he's only thrown 1. In the losses, and his 4 losses, he's thrown 5. So when he throws interceptions, more often than not, this team loses. When he keeps it to himself, when he keeps it to the guy in purple, white, and black, this team usually gets a victory, okay? The thing is you're going against a pretty good defense when it comes to turning the football over. They are 5th in the league in interceptions with 16. They are 3rd in forced fumbles with 18. And they are 1st in fumbled recoveries with 16, okay? They can turn a team over, and they've been doing it all season long. So you got to make sure you keep it to the guys that are in those Baltimore Ravens uniforms, okay? And then number 4, my final key to victory is get to Allen. Get to Josh Allen. Put him under pressure. Make him freak out in the pocket, okay? And again, we've talked about it. He's had a phenomenal season, the best in his career. 63.6% completion percentage, over 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns. A big, big, big improvement on the interceptions. He only threw 6 compared to 18 last year. But when you look at his 2 worst games this year, it was a loss against Houston and it was a loss against Baltimore. And each of those games were the highest pressure rates of the season, 45.7, 44.1. And in those games, he had a 30% completion percentage and a 55.2% completion percentage. He was pressured 31 games, 31 times combined, and you had 3 sacks the last time you played this team in Baltimore. Now, I wouldn't bank on that being the story again, because still at the same time, Buffalo probably has the best offensive line in football. They've only allowed 16 sacks, number 1 in the National Football League. Their sack percentage is 2.6%. So 2.6% of these, he's getting sacked. Incredibly low. Best in the NFL. And they've given up 181 quarterback pressures, 9th in the NFL. So I need some guys to step up, just like they did last time you played this team, just like they did in the last game, just like they did against Cleveland, just like a lot of these guys have been doing all season long. That's Kyle Van Noy, Nnamdi Madubuike, Dafeole, okay? I'm not calling on any guys that I need to see, you know what, give me a sack. You haven't given me a lot this year. Okay, I think this sleeper's going to do it. No, when it's the playoff, you need your guys to step up and make plays. You need your leaders to step up and make plays. I need Kyle Van Noy, he's been doing it all season long, to step up and make a play. Nnamdi Madubuike, he's ebbed, he's flowed. I need him to be a star. I need him to be an Allen's grill all night long. Same goes for Dafeole, okay? So make the call for me. I'm about to, on the other side of this, predict the score of Bills versus Ravens, okay? Let me know what you're going to think. Let me know who you got winning. My prediction, I think it's a close one. I think it's high scoring. But I've got Baltimore winning this one, guys. I do. I think they go into HighMark Stadium. I think they leave there with a victory. I think they're moving on to the AFC Championship. 31-18. That's what I got. 31-28. That's what I got. You let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. This has been Ravens Rundown. I am your guy, Joey Petersen. Appreciate you guys being here. Again, we'll be live for the game on Sunday. Can't wait to make sure you don't miss it. Hit that sub button. Boom. Predict it for me in the comment section down below. We still got people spamming 4s. We got people spamming 4s. And hey, I said I want 60 likes coming out of the break. We're almost to 80. That's massive. Hey, Mary and Papa, shout out to both of you guys. You'll get shout outs on the live show, but also when that video goes live, make sure you're doing the same thing. Y'all can pause it. I'm going to give it a tie. Both Mary and Papa Shook, they want it, okay? Football Editor 7 says, hey, Joey, I'm Steve from another account. What's up, Steve? Good to see you, man. Mary Kennedy's still typing 4. Duran's typing 4. No need to keep typing 4, guys. Competition's over. Shout out Mary. Shout out Papa. Okay? Just make sure you guys keep the same energy on Saturday when that video goes out. Let me know your score predictions, please, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Kimberly Harmon saying 40-10. Let's go. She thinks it's high scoring. She thinks it's a big one. I like it. Jack, if you had to predict this game, and you don't have to go in the direction of Baltimore, but if you had to predict this game, oh no, oh, that's okay. You just pulled a text there. If you had to predict this game, Jack, what would you do, my friend? No, you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings.
I'm going to give the edge to Baltimore.
Okay.
I will. I'm going to give the edge to Baltimore. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as you think it is because of the weather. I think it'll be a lot of running. I think it's going to be a quick game. I think the game's going to go by quick.
Yeah.
Let me do 21-14.
Okay, 21-14. Last time these two teams played, 35-10 was the final. I don't think it's going to be that one-sided. I hope it is, but I don't think it will be. Also, $10 super chat from my man Lil Bryson, a proud member of the bank, sending in a $10 super chat saying, hey, Joey. Bryson, what's up, man? Hope to see you on Sunday. Our first Sunday game, Jack, since December 15th against the New York Giants. So it has been, tomorrow will be 1 month exactly from the last time this team played on a Sunday. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Wild scheduling. I thought we for sure were going to get the Saturday game, but hey, I'll take Sunday Night Football, man. Yeah, 3 p.m. Saturday game always seems to go to the Texans, doesn't it? And that's how it's going to be forever, unfortunately. Yeah, I know. It's like genuinely, like they are playing maybe not the most popular team in the country, but one of them in the Chiefs. You think more than the Cowboys now? Okay. It's fair. You do have the Swifties. But when the Cowboys hire Dion. Oh, golly. What a shit show in Dallas. All righty. Up next, we got the scary truth about the Baltimore Ravens in the midst of their Super Bowl quest. I can promise you, you don't want to miss it. Stick around because it's coming at you right now. On today's show, we're going to be talking about the scary truth for the Baltimore Ravens in the midst of their quest to win a Super Bowl, okay? I got a lot to talk about in this show. Before I get into any of it, I got to bring attention to our January sub-battle with our Steelers Talk channel. Very close, okay? You're only down 8 right now, 1,578 to 1,570. First off, I want to thank you for how awesome of a month it's been. Fantastic number just halfway through the month. But hey, we still got work to do. We're down 8. Help us pass them and help us pass them and then some, okay? So if you haven't already, hit that sub button if you hate the Steelers and if you love the Ravens. The scary truth, what is it? Well, it's that this offense is absolutely peaking right now, okay? And it's not necessarily that fact, but it's how they've been doing it. But my take on this offense, okay, is we've seen the ebbs and flows of it all year long, okay? We've seen the ebbs and flows of the team. We've seen the ebbs and flows of the offense, okay? From games where you feel like you couldn't score in the entirety of the second half, like against the Las Vegas Raiders, okay, to games where you're putting up 40 at ease. But one thing is, though, through all of that, here's where we sit at the end of it, and it feels like Todd Monken has figured it out, okay? Specifically with the read option, okay? And I know that you guys know what the read option is, but I put this up here just to give a visual to the people who don't, okay? Basically, read option, you got a running back, you got a quarterback, ball is snapped, defensive end is let through the line, quarterback gets to read the defensive end, and he has the option to either hand it off to the running back if the defensive end isn't biting, but if he's biting, he can take it and run it. Basically, it's the perfect play designed for Lamar Jackson and for Derrick Henry. You saw it a lot last Saturday against Pittsburgh. I think you're going to see it a lot this upcoming Sunday against Buffalo, and we'll break down the film in just a little bit, okay? But what say you? Is this offense in peak form right now? Because what I saw Saturday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers with no Zay Flowers, relying solely on this run game, 299 yards against Pittsburgh, I think that they are. If you think yes, give me a Y down below. If you think in, give me a no. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. When that time comes, don't worry about it. Scroll down to the comment section, find this pinned comment, and reply with yes or no. So did you know that the Ravens averaged 2.7 yards per carry on read options this year? Okay? The average run play in the NFL this year was 1.4 yards per carry. Okay? So 2.7 yards per carry when they run the read option. Guys, that's phenomenal. And again, we saw it on Saturday. We saw it a lot, and here's why it works. Okay? You see Pittsburgh right here. And you see where all the eyes in the entire room are. They're on Lamar Jackson, okay? They're on Lamar. Guess who gets the ball there? Derrick Henry, okay? Gain of 8. Then this next play. This is why it's so unstoppable. Even Justice Hill in there. TJ Watt, linebacker, eyes. They're biting all on Justice Hill. What does Lamar do? Keeps it, runs outside. I believe that one's a gain of 12. Okay, this next play. Again, you see TJ Watt absolutely biting on this one. What does Lamar do? He tucks it, he runs. Next play, same thing. You see the eyes, they're only on Justice Hill. You see the defensive end right there, biting as hard as he can. Lamar Jackson keeps it, he tucks it, he runs. And that's what makes Lamar Jackson so special, ladies and gentlemen, because he's been running the read option, I'd bet, probably since he was in high school. He's been running it the entire time he's been in Baltimore. He ran it when he was at Louisville and won the Heisman. But it just feels like every year he gets better with it. Every year he gets smarter with it. And the read option is a big reason that you were able to do this. 50 rush attempts for 299 yards, 6 yards per carry. It is so lethal because teams have to decide every snap, do I want to take away Derrick Henry or do I want to take away Lamar? Because that defensive end bites, even if it's freaking TJ Watt. If he bites, Lamar's going to keep it and he's going to run. And he's going to bite you. He's going to hurt you. But if they say, you know what? Lamar's not going to beat us. Let's just stand our ground. Then you just give it to Derrick Henry, who's rushed for over 130 yards in the past 4 games, okay? It was so obvious that the plan going into Pittsburgh's game was to just run the football, okay? They had their best drive of the season. It was, I think, the 3rd or 4th drive of the game. We're going to go play by play, okay? Play 1, 1-yard run, the Baltimore 16. Play 2, Lamar, 8-yard run. Play 3, Mark Andrews, tush push, 3 yards. Play 4, Henry, 8 yards. Play 5, Jackson, 1 yard. Play 6, Henry 3, then Henry 2, then Jackson 2 straight scrambles, 1 for 20 yards, 1 for 2 yards. Play 10, Jackson 9-yard run, and then you just ended the thing with Derrick Henry. 3 yards, 17 yards, 8 yards. All doing what? Bet you can guess it. Handing off the football. You know what this is called? It's called imposing your will. It's called doing whatever the hell you want on a football field against a team full of grown men, against a team coached by one of the best defensive minds in the NFL. You just put 300 on them. You just did a 13-play drive, 85 yards, ended in a touchdown. You didn't need to throw the football one time. You ran the ball the entire time. You could have announced, hey, we're going to run the read option here. Hey, we're going to hand it off to Derrick Henry. They would not have been able to stop it. I can promise you, because this team imposed their will. They were more physical. They were more prepared. Flat out, they just had better players. Okay? So coming up, can this continue against Buffalo? Because it's great it worked against Pittsburgh, but that game's yesterday. That game is in the rearview mirror. We got a game coming up against a really good opponent. Can it work against them? Speaking of that game against Buffalo, if you guys want to see that game, make sure to use our friends over at Game Time. The new year brings so many great things, right? Friends, food, celebration, but most importantly, it brings the NFL playoffs. And there's nothing that can quite compare to the rush and excitement you feel watching your team win a playoff game, either at home or on the road. And if you want to have that memory for the rest of your life, that is exactly where Game Time can help out. Game Time has an awesome new feature. Let's go Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so that you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which is the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. And guys, I can promise you, you do not want to miss Sunday night's game against the Buffalo Bills. Okay, I know it's going to be cold. I know it's going to be freezing, but this is a chance. This is a memory. This is a time you will never forget. So take advantage of it. And if you do that, use our friends at Game Time. Use code ChatSports, get $20 off. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. So let's hear what Eric Turner of Cover One had to say about this week's matchup. Now, Cover One is a podcast that is basically all Buffalo Bills. It's like if Ravens Rundown was turned into the podcast, okay? So he said Ravens zone read concepts against the Bills, 2018 to present. 44 attempts, 4.2 yards per rush, 6th best, 2 touchdowns, 1.61 yards per contact per rush, 4th best, 9 missed tackles, 23rd. That's great for Buffalo. And the rankings are among all those from 2018 to present, playoffs included. Okay? So what Eric Turner's saying there is, historically, since Lamar's been running the point, Buffalo's been pretty good against the read option, against the zone read, against Baltimore. Okay? And let's look how they defended it the last time these two teams played a playoff game. Okay? I know this is a really long time ago, but in this play specifically, they did a really good job. You could see 93 right there. He's made the decision. I'm just going to sit. I'm not going to let Lamar hurt me. And if you look at the linebacker, 52, I should have circled him. I didn't. He's at the bottom of that Buffalo. You can see his eyes on the quarterback as well. He's trying to keep his leverage because he's got to go to the sideline to make sure he keeps contained. Well, Lamar keeps it. You can see he gets swallowed up in the backfield. And you can see that linebacker has created a little bit of contain on that outside. So when you look at it just like this, you say, okay, they busted it, right? That's just like good on them. They know how to defend it. This might be scary. But also, if you go back a little bit, look at this hole. Okay? I honestly, guys, I just think this is a misread by Lamar. And this is what, 3-4 years ago at this point? I don't know how many of those misreads he makes anymore. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he's 100 for 100 in terms of the read option. But guys, I just haven't seen him do that much this year. Okay, so hopefully that's just a one-off. And when you played them in week 4, you had guys bite. You could see Von Miller right there. He's biting on Justice Hill. So what happens? Lamar keeps it. And you see both the cornerback and both Von Miller right there, their eyes only on Justice Hill. What does that lead to? Oh, just a Lamar Jackson touchdown. okay? So you've seen in years past they're good at it. You're seeing this year that they have struggled with it, right? It's not going to just be a one-size-fits-all thing, okay? It's not going to be either they're good at defending it or bad at defending it because that ebbs and flows. That changes. What won't change, though, is this weather. It's going to be cold. You're going to need to pound the rock. You're going to need to run the football, and that's what makes this so scary, in my opinion, for Buffalo. This is the scary truth about the Baltimore Ravens in this playoff race. Because when they have to, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, if they need to run it 1,000 times in a game, they can do so. And they did it last week, and I'm sure they'll do it this week, okay? Now, to add to this, just a little bit of a point, I've talked a lot about their success against Buffalo in Week 4. They did kind of have a lot of guys not play, okay? Taron Johnson, Terrell Bernard, and Matt Milano. 3 guys that are great tacklers, 3 guys that are great pieces to that defense, 3 guys that are leaders to that defense. Did not play in Week 4. That definitely helped you. Definitely helped Derrick Henry get to 199 yards rushing. Definitely helped Derrick Henry break off that 87-yard touchdown run the first play from scrimmage. But still, this offense, in my opinion, since Week 4 has gotten a lot better. Okay? You've just gotten more solid run blocking. You've gotten better play calling, in my opinion. Derrick Henry's fresh. Okay? So it won't be as easy as Week 4, but I still think it's possible. I still think it's possible, very possible, to take advantage of this or this Buffalo Bills defense and run the ball down their throats and do it time and time again with that read option, okay? I'm setting the over-under. It's high. I know it. But you got to take into account what team this is. You got to take into account the weather. 199.5 rush yards against the Bills. Play Vegas with me. Type O for over. Type U for under. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. This has been the Ravens Rundown. Really appreciate you guys being here. The playoff coverage is only going up, and I cannot be more happy about it. We'll be live for Sunday's game. We were live on Tuesday. It was a lot of fun. To not miss a live ever again, make sure you guys hit that sub button. Excuse me. My goodness. We got Joshua Weinbender saying, imagine if the Chiefs choke this weekend. Joshua, that would be electric. Because if the Chiefs choke, and if you win, you have a home playoff game against the Houston Texans in the AFC Championship, who you just beat 30-2. That would be absolutely electric, okay? That's just my personal opinion. We got a $10 super chat again from my man Lil Bryson saying, Ravens win 34-32. I like it, Bryson. I like it, man. You got a close one. I've got a close one. You've got a little bit more high scoring than I do. Not that much, though. But that's a great prediction. Hopefully they win. I hope it's not close. But if they win close, I'd rather them win close than, lose in general. So I wouldn't be mad about a close game. Alrighty, our next segment we got coming up is our live Ravens mailbag. Jack, how are we looking on questions, my friend? Jack's looking, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let's DeAndre Hopkins. He's not on the Cardinals anymore. Probably is. Let's just not ask that one. Y'all, let's keep getting questions in, okay? Use hashtag Ravens if you want to get on the show. You can ask me anything, okay? It can be about Baltimore. It can be about college football. It can be about my personal life. It can be about anything you want. Jack's going to see him. He's going to see if they see fit, and he's going to put him on the show if, I'll get a chance to answer. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. Jack, you still think we're good to go? Great. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Again, once we start, you can still ask questions. So keep doing that. Use hashtag Ravens. It's the only way we can get it into our software. We're sitting at 91 likes. When I get out of this cut, I need us to be at 100. Okay, that was my goal for this stream. Let's get there. Like the video, and we'll get started with the mailbag. You are watching the Baltimore Ravens Rundown Live mailbag. This was filmed in our Tuesday live show. We go live every single Tuesday. It's an absolute blast. You guys better be there next time we're doing it. We're going to do it all off season long. Every single one of these questions was asked from people that were in the live chat. They ask them in live time. I answer them in real time. So if you missed out, be there next time. But before we do that, if you want a shout out on Sunday's live, because again, we're going live on Sunday for the Bills game, spam BAL in the comment section down below. Whoever spams BAL the most, I'll count. I'll keep track. I promise you they will go in Sunday's live show for a shout out. Okay, let's start with the first question from my man, It's Red Eye. Said, #Ravens, I feel like I'm at 68, but do you think Zay will play? And if we win against the Bills, do you think we can go to Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs and eventually win it all? Great question, It's Red Eye. A lot to unpack here. Let's start with that first one. Do you think Zay will play? If I was a betting man, and sometimes I find myself to be, only on Prize Picks, but if I was a betting man, I would say Zay won't play. Because, the update you got on Monday from John Harbaugh was he's in we'll see mode. That just doesn't sound overtly positive to me, okay? I don't know about you, but that's kind of how it comes across to me. And if we win against the Bills, do you think we can go to the Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs and eventually win it all? Yes, I do. I really do, okay? I know, call me crazy, call me I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I know, but guys, this team seems like it is absolutely clicking right now. This is the hottest team in football, in my opinion. They're playing the best football, in my opinion. And a lot of times, if you can win in December, it's because you can run the football well, and it's because your defense is playing well. And this defense is playing better than it's played all year, and this offense is running the football at a better rate than it's played all year. So yes, and I think if you beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, and if you beat the Bills on the road, there's nobody else that can take you down. Okay, I get the Eagles are playing well. I get the Lions are there. But guys, going on the road to Arrowhead, road to HighMark Stadium, winning both of those games, you're the best team in the NFL. Next one coming from Silky, #Ravens. Do you think if the Ravens bench Brandon Stephens, will we be good? I think we'll be better. I am so ready for this team to move on from Brandon Stephens. It's not funny, okay? Like, Brandon Stephens, I feel like he's been the bane of my existence this entire year. Nobody gives up more yardage in the NFL. Nobody gives up more 50-50 balls. Nobody is closer to being there, but while also not being there in time. Like, he's just close on every single thing. It's maddening. So, yeah, I do think if they bench Brandon Stephens, they would be a little bit better. But also, Trey White has kind of struggled in the past couple weeks as well. And so I don't mind the Trey White, Brandon Stephens rotation. At least both those guys are fresh for pretty much the entirety of the game. But I'm ready for them to move on to Brandon Stephens in the offseason. That's my opinion. Grove St. Turk, new guy we saw in our Tuesday night live chat, said, #Ravens, how do you feel about our secondary against the Bills? Grove, I feel pretty good. Okay, we've seen the secondary and what this secondary has done in terms of the jump they've made from the first 11 weeks of the regular season to the last 7 weeks of the regular season. It was noticeable. They were the worst secondary in football, and then they started playing like the best secondary in football. So that gives me confidence in and of itself. But then you also look at the other side of the football, and you see who you see who Buffalo trots out there every single game with Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Mac Hollins, an older Amari Cooper. And I said this, and I'm going to say it in a couple days, but those guys don't scare me. Like, that might be dramatic. That might be silly to say. This might be clipped and put back on social media in a couple of days. But those guys don't scare me. So I feel pretty good about the secondary against the Bills. Great question, though. Next one coming up from Trizzy Trace. Why didn't the Ravens sign OBJ or Calais Campbell? Trace, that's a good question. So the Calais Campbell thing was because the Dolphins didn't actually end up releasing him like they said they might. They were in playoff contention until the very last week, so they wanted to keep their team as in as intact as they could. They said earlier in the season, you know what, if we get out of playoff contention late and we could still release him and he can still be picked up to win a Super Bowl with somebody else, they would think about that, but they're in contention until week 18. So that's why you didn't sign Calais Campbell. Now, why you didn't sign OBJ, I don't know, man. I really don't. Especially after the Zay Flowers injury news, I thought that might be a good guy to go pick up. I think they just think he's washed. And I think after the whole Deontay Johnson situation with this locker room, with this team, with this front offense, they just did not want to add anybody else to this team. They didn't want to add anybody into the mix because they know that this team has been absolutely clicking as of recent, okay? It's your turn, though, to chime in for me. Was it a mistake not signing a free agent? Okay, if you think so, give me a hell yes, an HY in the comment section down below. And if you think not, give me an HN for hell no, okay? But you let me know. Want to hear your opinion down below. Next one coming up from my man Ryan Vu. Ryan's always in the chat. Absolutely love it. Hashtag Ravens, should we trade for Tyreek? Ryan, great question. I actually made a video about this on Tuesday night. I think they should. I don't think it would cost you that much. I think it'd be about a second-round pick, and I think you could compare the most electric wide receiver in the game with the best running back and most electric quarterback in the game, okay? Now, I'm not here saying that, Tyreek Hill's the best wide receiver in football anymore because I don't think he is. But you would be lying if you looked me in the eyes and told me he wasn't the most electric one, okay? I think this offense would be absolutely unstoppable. Now, you would have to, I think, pass on re-signing some guys in free agency just because you don't necessarily have the money to do a ton of moves. But, man, if you could just get him for a second-round pick, I would do it in an absolute heartbeat. I'm going to talk about a lot of more questions coming up soon. But before that, I got to give a shout-out to our good friends over at Prize Picks. And you know what, guys? It's playoff time. That means it's now or never. So don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks. It's the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. So sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win or receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineup. And I talked about the weekly promotions like a Taco Tuesday. Prize Picks also will sometimes randomly throw in like a massively reduced stat like we're seeing right here for Will Howard pass yards. That's at half a passing yard. All he needs is one passing yard, and that square wins. So I've got the more on that, got the less on Riley Leonard passing yards, and the less on Jeremiah Smith receiving yards. You can tail my picks. You can fade my picks. Just make sure you use our friends at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. Next one's coming up from Jermaine Smith. Feels like he's screaming this one at me. What's your thoughts on Keaton Mitchell being an X Factor and Nelson Aguilar? Great question, Jermaine. I think Keaton Mitchell, I think both of those guys, maybe not as much. I've wanted Keaton Mitchell to be an X Factor this entire year, or at least since he's worked back from that injury, and he just hasn't been, unfortunately. Now, I do think next year can be a different story, but I just think he's still going through things coming back from that awful injury that he took in the Jaguars game in 2023, okay? And so, maybe not as much Keaton Mitchell. And Nelson Aguilar, hopefully, but also, I'm not that big of a Nelson Aguilar guy. I think that X factors when it comes to pass catching got a way higher ceiling for Isaiah Likely. Even got a way higher ceiling for Justice Hill out of the backfield. Hell, I'd even love to see Tez Walker a little bit. Okay, you saw him on the field. Didn't get a ton of targets, but man, that speed's something different. Okay, great question. I don't think so though. Next up, we got Silly Socks. How silly? Says, can the Ravens have the same success running the football this time around against the Bills? I'm guessing what you mean, Silly, is this time around as in compared to what they did week 4. And maybe not as much. They had a lot of success. Derrick Henry rushed for 199 yards. But I do still think they can have great success. Buffalo does have a lot of guys back from injury that they didn't have in that game. They're a little bit more of a fortified unit. But also, I think this team's just going to run the ball more. And I know Lamar Jackson only had 21 pass attempts against Buffalo. I think it's somewhere around that same number. It's going to be a cold night. Derrick Henry's on an absolute tear. You just absolutely pushed Pittsburgh off the line of scrimmage in terms of run blocking. So I do think that you can have the same success. I think you can have similar success, maybe not as high as you did. I'm going to set the over-under for you. 199.5. What do you think? Do they get more? Do they get less? Type M for more. Type L for less. Let me know in the comment section down below. We got another question coming from Grove St. Turk. #Ravens. What should we target in the draft? Okay. You asked what, not who, so I'm going to answer it how you asked it. I think you should target defensive line. I wouldn't mind targeting a cornerback, obviously. I think those are my two highest. I think also kind of in the later rounds, maybe go wide receiver, maybe go interior offensive line, or if you don't re-sign Ronnie Stanley, then maybe go at that tackle position. I think there's a good bit of needs for this team going into the offseason. I think defensive line, I think cornerback are at the top of the list, though, in my opinion. And those guys usually at the top of the draft are pretty serviceable, as we've seen Nate Wiggins be an absolute star this year. Okay, next question coming in again from Jacko says, #Ravens, if we make it past Buffalo, who do you want to meet in the AFC Championship game? Jacko, it would be ridiculous to not answer that question with the team you beat 30-2 not even a month ago. Obviously, you want to get the monkey off your back in terms of Kansas City and what they've done historically against you and what they just did last year in the AFC Championship game. But if you have to choose against going on the road and playing Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City or playing the Texans at home, who you've just beat, again, 30-2, that one's obvious for me, man. Give me Houston at home any day of the week. Papa Shook says, #Ravens, does Monken entertain a head coaching offer on another team after this season? Papa, I think that he does entertain it, but I don't think it happens, okay? There's some teams that are interested. The Jags are interested. The Bears are interested. The Jets are interested as well. Bears have requested, I think all those teams have requested an interview. He hasn't taken any yet, but I think he'll entertain them. I think his stock has never been higher. I don't know if his stock ever will be higher. Having a guy pass for over 4,000 yards and a quarterback rush for over 900 yards and another running back rush for 1,900 yards and a receiver catch for over 1,000 yards all in the same season, leading the league in points per game, leading the league in yards per game, all these things, I don't think his stock will ever be or has ever been higher. So I think it'd be silly if he didn't entertain it. Now, if I had to bet, I'd say less than a 50% chance that he is a head coach next year. He's 58. He's older. I just think that's kind of an old age to take a shot on a first-time head coach, a guy who's never been a head coach in the National Football League. Predict it for me down below. Will Todd Monken be a Raven in 2025? Let me know what you think by typing Y for yes or N for no. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you have not, because we are absolutely dialing it up during this playoff season, during this playoff race, during the race to the Super Bowl. And if you want to be there every single step of the way, don't miss a moment, hit that sub button. We got 200 likes on the dot, baby! That was the goal. 100. We needed to get there. We got there. Now we're 101, even better. And, hell, I can die a happy man now. We got some yeses in the chat. Jacko thinks yes. Michael thinks yes. Papa Shook thinks yes. I think yes as well. Brandon in Estroza says, should we sign Stanley? I think no. Brandon, if you can get him for cheap, I'd sign him. But if he's going to be expensive, which I think he might be, because I think a lot of teams see what he did this year, need help with that left tackle position. I mean, Tyron Smith got a decent contract, and Tyron Smith's even older than Ronnie Stanley is. Ronnie Stanley, I believe, is 30. Tyron Smith, I think, is 33 or 34. And he got paid a decent bit from the Jets. And so I would love that, but that's just me. Justin says yes. Caleb says yes. Mary says yes. You know what I'm saying yes to? I'm saying a yes at the fact that this was an awesome stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. 1,500 views, 104 likes, $20 made in Super Chat. Shout out to Lil Bryson. Every single one of these just keeps getting better and better and better. And for the next one to be better than this one, make sure you guys tell your friends, tell your family, share this on Twitter. Let everybody know that this is the place to be if you're a Ravens fan. For Producer Jack, I'm your host, Joey Petersen. We'll see you next time.